Well, welcome to the Botanical Medicine Study course with me, your host and instructor, Stephanie Georgiev. Welcome to all new subscribers and thank you to long-term viewers for all of your support and interest. At the time of the posting of this video, we are full into summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. It seems that this summer is going to be a scorcher all around, so make sure you stay hydrated and as cool as possible. So, in the spirit of the season here in the Northern Hemisphere, for this week's Herb of the Week, we will be exploring cucumber because, well, we all need to be, and here's a hint on some of the properties of cucumber, to be cool as a cucumber. The cucumber, which is also known as Cucumis sativus, is a widely cultivated creeping vine plant from the family of Curbitaceae, which is a fancy botanical name for the gourd family. And this family, the cucumber creeping vine plant, has these cylindrical to spherical fruits. Okay, so the cucumber that we eat is actually a fruit and not a vegetable. Believe it or not, cucumbers are technically fruits, and the botanical category for fruit is something with the seeds inside, which, as we know, cucumbers excel in that department. And they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Lemon cucumbers are round, and the English cucumber, the pickling cucumber, the Persian cucumber, all those different cucumbers are usually kind of these oblong, wonderfully delicious things. So the cucumber is considered an annual plant, and there are three main types of cucumbers: the slicing cucumber, seedless cucumber, and the pickling cucumber. And those, to me, seem like mostly culinary delineations. But I personally adore cucumbers, any way, shape, or form. I like them raw, I like them pickled, I like them in salads. Not very fond of them being cooked. I think it just sort of defeats the purpose of a cucumber. But there are certain cuisines that involve cooked cucumber, and God bless you if you like them. Now, as I said before, the cucumber is a creeping vine that roots in the ground and grows up any sort of supporting frame. And usually in gardens, this can be trellises, or sometimes people have literally twine where, they creep up that. And the reason they creep up is from a tendril, and you can see the little squiggly things in this vintage botanical drawing of cucumbers. And those are tendrils. Now, if there's nothing for the vine to cling to, the cucumber will sprawl along the ground. The vine has large leaves that actually form a canopy over the fruits. So I guess even the cucumbers want to be cool. And who doesn't know about cucumber? I mean, really, everybody knows about cucumbers. They're mostly water. And in botanical terms, the cucumber is classified as a pepo, which is a type of botanical berry. So actually, I guess you could say that cucumber is not only a fruit, it's a berry with a hard outer rind and no internal divisions. Now, what are the medicinal properties of cucumbers? And it's really interesting when you start looking through herbals, and especially older herbals. And even, I guess, people in 17th century England got warm. So they were extolling the virtues of cucumber as hydrating and cooling. But the seeds are also very healing, and they're called a tenaciaceae, which is anti-tapeworm. And so some of the older, now I've never seen this, I've never used this. I don't really have clients that suffer from tapeworm, so I can only tell you what I read in the literature. But the seeds were ground up and could be put in, things like different types of oils or in some sort of paste. And they were taken, and apparently the tapeworms really hated that. Now, hydrating, they're very hydrating. And again, because they're mostly water, I mean, they're 95% water. So these are really good things to eat, especially if it's hot and dry. And you need to keep yourself full of fluids. So cucumbers are very hydrating. And the flesh is demulcent, which means it's soothing to skin and internal organs. It's also diuretic. So let's say if you're like me and it's really hot, and especially if it's hot and humid, I just start swelling up like a balloon. And my go-to is green tea plus cucumbers, and they help you shed extra water. Now, topically, cucumbers are very soothing to sunburns. So you can make a mash or just put slices of cucumbers on a sunburn. It's really cooling. And there's all kinds of products on the market made with cucumbers, skin lotions. And it's just, as I said, it's very hydrating and it's very softening to the skin. Now, it also, because of the high fiber content and all the different vitamins and minerals, helps to lower blood sugar. Also, because of all the good things in cucumbers, it promotes healthy bowel function. And it's also got anti-inflammatory properties. So if you're suffering from any kind of allergies or joint pains, etc., this is a good thing for you to eat on a regular basis. Now, the nutritional benefits, this is also one of those wonderful gifts from nature where the line between medicinal and nutritional is basically non-existent. It's a wonderful source of potassium, magnesium, vitamin C, and K. So anything that all of those do for the body, cucumbers will do. And it's a delicious, much less expensive and easier to digest than fistful of pills. It's also high in antioxidants, high in fiber. And again, it's very hydrating. So it's just wonderful. Yeah, so those are the good nutritional benefits of cucumbers. It's also very low in calories, so it's a wonderful snack if you're wanting that crunch that we like in potato chips, but not as destructive to everything else. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, their whole approach to nutrition I find really useful, and it goes above and beyond all the wonderful things that I just mentioned, like antioxidants and fiber and magnesium and vitamin K. What the Chinese do is they look at the energetics of the food and what are those qualities and what are the organs that you want to heal. And because of the qualities, what they do, to combat other issues. So it's Huanggua, and that's how that's pronounced. And I have the Chinese characters up there. And it's cold, which I think we would all agree that cucumbers are cold and energetics. And it also has a sweet. Now, these two energetic qualities do all sorts of things to the body. And you really want these energetics, especially when it's hot outside. Now, energetically, the cucumber enters the large intestine, stomach, urinary bladder, and spleen meridians. And we remember in the medicinal actions from a Western understanding, we know that it has diuretic properties. Well, isn't that interesting that energetically it enters the urinary bladder, and spleen has a lot to do with fluid metabolism in Chinese medical theory. And because it's cold, it clears heat and it eliminates toxins. So Chinese cucumbers of any kind are really good to eat if you are hot or if you have some sort of infection, anything that's red and hot and all that. This is a really good thing to eat. And it's also good for eliminating toxins. So if you have a really roaring bacterial infection, cucumbers are very much your friend. Now, there are so many ways to enjoy cucumbers. I mean, just eating them is really lovely. I just enjoy eating them. Obviously, they have hardly any calories, and if you start dipping them in things, that's where you add calories. But one of the best ways to enjoy cucumbers to get all of their marvelous effects is basically through cucumber water. And some of us who enjoy going to spas and salons, usually there's some large pitcher of water with sliced cucumbers in it, and they might put other things like a couple of slices of lemon or some mint, something like that. But cucumber water is super simple. And I do have a link in the program notes on how to make it. But basically, you just need sliced cucumbers and water and let them, steep for a little bit and just drink that. And my suggestion is to have either a large pitcher or a beverage dispenser with cucumber water when it's nice and hot, and just enjoy that all day. It's very inexpensive, it's really healthy, and it has literally no calories in it. Now, there are other ways. You can also make cucumber juice. You can put this in a juicer or a blender, and it's very cooling. I have also a link in the program notes on how to do that. And you can just do anything with cucumbers. I mean, they're wonderful in salads. Cucumber boats are really fun, where you slice a cucumber lengthwise and scoop out the seeds and then fill it with something. And you can put anything your little heart desires in that. I suggest not, filling it with cream cheese if you're trying to watch your weight, but you can put, coleslaw or tuna salad or anything you can imagine. And this is a really wonderful gluten-free option, and it's also really cooling. Now here, because I'm in Bulgaria, one of the regional dishes that I just adore here, it's called Tarator, and it's basically a cold cucumber yogurt dill soup. And this is the season, let me tell you, because it is really rather warm here right now where I am. And this is a really delicious, healthy, cooling way to end a hot day. And I also have a link in the program notes on how to make that. So I highly recommend Tarator. That's when I was living in Southern California and it would get really hot in the summer. My two go-to summer meals, where I always had a lot of them in my refrigerator, one was Tarator and the other was gazpacho. And they're both cooling soups, and they're energetic, and they're just delicious. And if you're like me, at the end of a hot day, the last thing you want to do is cook because it involves heat. So if you have these cooling soups on hand, it's very delicious. Now, growing cucumbers is really easy. You can do them in pots. You can grow them in raised beds. It's much better to do that with trellises because they have something to, climb up, and then you can just harvest the cucumbers from that. And I have a wonderful article in the program notes on everything you could possibly want to know about cucumbers and how to grow them. But they're very easy to grow, and they're quite prolific. And I just think everybody should have cucumbers. I think the bare minimum in every garden is tomatoes, cucumbers, and parsley and dill and basil. And I think you can pretty much take care of yourself with that during the summer, but definitely cucumbers. So, however you want to incorporate this incredible fruit from nature, if you want to take a bunch of the seeds, if you're traveling in areas that have terrible water sources to prevent either getting parasites or to get rid of them, or you can eat them, you can make, apply them to sunburn, you can pickle them, however you want to incorporate this amazing fruit into your life. I hope you can come to really appreciate the amazing gift that cucumber is to us. So this is Stephanie Georgia saying thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. Make sure to check out the program notes. There's all kinds of interesting links in there. And until next time, stay cool as a cucumber.